So I'm going to talk about something other than the Bears, and I'm going to talk about the New York Jets. Now, looking at this story coming out of New York, I thought the Chicago Bears were dysfunctional. I don't know. I think the New York Jets probably beat out Chicago as far as most dysfunctional team in the NFL. Yeah, you could make the argument that the Browns are probably the most dysfunctional. Browns are the Browns.
You are a factory of sadness!
And I'm just talking about teams that really shouldn't be in this situation, but for some reason are in this situation. What I mean by that is when you look at Chicago's history and you look at the pageantry there and the market, you would expect that program to be much better than it is. You'd expect Chicago to have multiple championships under their belt. I mean, they're technically the oldest team in the NFL, and they just can't seem to get it right. But I don't know. I think New York beats them out as most dysfunctional, and here's why. So if you don't know, the Jets owner, Woody Johnson, reportedly nixed the Jerry Jeudy trade due to a Madden rating. And how he was influenced with this decision was his two sons that are teenagers. And they basically told him, hey, Jerry Jeudy's Madden rating's 86. Don't trade for him. He sucks. You know, when you look at the Jets situation, it makes more sense now. And what this does is it sheds more light on how much influence the owner actually has in the ball club and how that translates into how successful of a ball club they're going to be. And it gives me some insight on the whole situation with Chicago as well. Because I don't want to believe that George McCaskey is hurting the Bears. People have said for years that the McCaskeys need to sell the team. And I just can't imagine anybody else owning the Chicago Bears other than the McCaskey. I mean, to be honest with you, reading this story sheds a lot of light on the whole ownership of a football club situation and how it can actually negatively impact the team as a whole. But the story is just mind-blowing. The Jets are 4-10. Don't know anything about the Jets. They traded for Aaron Rodgers a couple seasons ago. Aaron got hurt his debut game. He tore his Achilles. He was out the rest of the season. Okay, he came back, and he just hasn't been the same guy. He hasn't been the same guy that he was in Green Bay. That whole situation with Aaron Rodgers is laughable, you know? And when you look back at his career in Green Bay, and this is taking nothing away from Aaron and his ability to throw a football. He's one of the best at it that has ever done it. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, there's no doubt. But when you look at the Jets situation, they haven't had a winning season since 2015. 2015, they went 10-6. Since then, they haven't had a winning season. They've went negative every single year. Even getting a competent quarterback in the building, it don't matter. They haven't been able to put it together. And when you hear this story coming out of New York, Woody Johnson making this decision based on what his two teenage sons told him about Jerry Jeudy and his rating in Madden and that influencing his decision, it makes sense why it makes sense why the Jets haven't won or had a winning season for the past 9 years. Almost a decade now. Look, I don't feel bad for the Jets because I don't care about the Jets. But you know who I do feel bad for are Jets fans. Look, I feel your pain. Feel it. I understand the frustration. I'm sure there was a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There was a lot of hope. I guess I can't find a better word for it, but I think people were confident that Aaron was going to be able to come in, that they were just a quarterback away. They fired Robert Saleh halfway through the season, and same thing with Chicago. You firing Matt Eberflus didn't solve the problem, and it just made the problem worse. We could say, Matt lost the locker room. Did he? Or did the locker room just lose itself? Same thing with the Jets. Robert Saleh didn't lose the locker room. The locker room lost itself. I think they put a lot of faith and belief in Aaron Rodgers to be able to come in and make the team successful. You know who is really probably soaking all this in and really enjoying himself? And that's Zach Wilson. Bad as the guy is, he's got to feel pretty good. The Jets eating shit. Because what it proves is that it wasn't a Zach Wilson problem, that it was a Jets problem. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody knows, but a new Netflix documentary came out about Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why it exists, but it does. And if I might be saying this wrong, but it's called Aaron Rodgers Enigma. I turned this on last night, and about 30 seconds later, I turned it right back off. I'm not going to spoil anything because I didn't watch the show, but the reason I shut it off is the first scene in the show is Aaron laying down on a table getting a tattoo, talking about whatever philosophical thing that Aaron Rodgers talks about. And I just turned it right back off. Oh, I ain't watching this shit. I don't understand Aaron Rodgers craving for attention. I don't, and this wasn't how he wasn't always like this. It's like ever since he broke up with Olivia Munn, he's just been an attention seeker. I don't know the guy on a personal level. I'm sure people that are in his circle that know him on a personal level, his teammates and family, he's probably a great guy. But I don't feel bad for Aaron in his situation because I watched the guy beat up on my team for over a decade. So I don't feel bad for him. It's tough. But I've watched Aaron, I've followed his career, and I don't wish anything bad upon Aaron. And I think, like I said, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. There's no taking away what he's been able to accomplish in the league. I mean, he's probably one of the most talented throwers the NFL's ever seen. And he can if he doesn't, he could probably confidently say that himself. Aaron Rodgers is a complex human being. Emotional guy, he's intricate, complicated, and convoluted. He's Aaron Rodgers. The story coming out of New York with the whole nixing of Jerry Jeudy, and of course the media is going to eat this shut. They got to talk about something. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't affect us. It doesn't life goes on. And if Woody wants to base his decisions off what his kids say, then, it is what it is. They're sons of the owner of the New York Jets. I'm not going to be pissed off about it. I could see Jets fans being pissed off about it. But I'd be more pissed off about how the Jets have performed over the past decade. Just like how I'm upset with the Bears and how they performed over the past decade. I will say this, at least they made the playoffs. The Jets haven't made the playoffs in over 13 seasons. I think it's more than 14 seasons. I think since the NFL merger they haven't made the playoffs. But all right, I think that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked it, hit the thumbs up for me. Talk shit down in the comments. Until the next one, I'm out of here.